We thought that that would be the reaction when we were thinking about doing a Tuesday show for Hollywood's Ghetto, and as you can see, the people like it, right? So Hollywood's Ghetto
Indeed.
Tuesday show. We're just messing around here. Big A, Lost Albert, coming to you live on a Tuesday. So let's get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah, so I guess if you can't hear the pad, you hear some like interruption or whatever. It's just like a sound being played.
For sure. For sure, my guy.
And this is to help make up for we recorded a episode on Friday, but something happened with the audio, and that's on me. So we're doing a quick one, maybe a new Tuesday show.
Yeah.
So what's up with you on your end?
Just chilling, bro. Fucking, you know, relaxing. Work has been fucking disgustingly slow, but that's how it goes.
I want you. One of the things I want you to see. Remember we were talking about the on the last episode we were talking about the no jumper drama.
Yeah.
There's a clip that I wanted you to see because the stuff that you talked about was a bit different from the stuff that I was kind of hearing.
Yeah.
But I just kind of we just kind of went with it. But this is kind of the one. Uh, Flashback. This is kind of one of the ones that I wanted you to. I wanted you to see. Jeez, now I gotta find it. Oh shit.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's like a no jumper flashback. Because these guys kind of talk about. There's some crazier stuff that was. Here we go. Here's the reaction.
That was going on.
Yeah, I kind of heard about this stuff,
Right on.
and then these guys. I just happened to come across a video where these guys kind of tapped. Oh shit! Now I gotta find it on freaking.
Yeah.
I'll find it. Just give me a quick moment. Yeah, so in this one they address kind of like all of the stuff they were talking about because I remember that thing about the dude and his wife and everything, but that was kind of like
Oh yeah, no, that's old. That's what I'm saying. That's old news. But it goes in with it, in my opinion, because they have talked about it kind of before, or I actually seen somebody else
found
uh
it.
watching a video of and explaining, the house phone situation and Adam 22. So he actually I forgot who it was, but they threw in that in there, and I was like, oh shit. So I put one and two together. So it tripped me out because I was like, that could definitely be something, maybe not the complete story, but it can be something in there that maybe caused this food to be like, like, all right, well, fuck this food at the end of the day. I don't know. It's just a little extra cheese on the taco.
Well, all right. So hold on to your butts, bro. Because here we go. I found the video. Screen share.
Get it?
Here we are. So I'll pause it
I
in
buy the
there.
same products you do,
We can
only I get
react.
them much cheaper.
Whoop de whoop.
I
Yada
save hundreds of
yada.
dollars a month by doing this one simple trick
You
that
know
I'm
the
about to show you.
drill.
Don't spend another dime.
Yeah, sorry,
Bro,
gotta have to
Adam
skip those
22,
ads.
man, over
It's
no
two
jumper is
apps.
going
It's
through
two
a
commercials,
lot of
guys. Sorry,
scandals,
gotta
a lot of
skip it.
things that need to be addressed.
I was 16.
I need that
girl
content
my
too.
age, right? Adam
I've seen
was
this.
fucking girls that was the same age as me when I was 16.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's the
what's
old
wrong with you,
allegation.
bro?
She was
Yeah,
19
yeah.
when you met her?
This is the one that's recent.
So, but what did you say?
I said that I spoke to her on the phone. She
Oh no, this is them bringing it back. My bad.
That's how we catch him.
Canadian. She didn't even know that she was doing something fucked up.
It don't even matter, but that's how we catch him.
About the fact, and this is 2008 that I think I wrote about it. I made a joke about the fact that
I've seen this one too.
pretty
This will put
interested
him on
in
the
her
spot
before
pretty
I
good.
realized that she was underage, right?
Do you remember what he said in that Joe Joe Biden? Do you remember what he said in that Joe Biden one? What was his answer to the situation?
That so pretty much he was saying that he had, whatever, uh not dating her, but they were talking, and then yeah, they were talking or something, and then he found out that she was that age, and then later on when she was of age, this fool I guess they got together again, and this fool finally piped
Yeah.
or some shit like that.
So I had kind of heard something about that. I didn't really know all those details, but what do you think? Because like, okay, so before you answer that, we can kind of watch these guys. These guys kind of talk about it, how it's kind of a bit sus,
Yeah,
and then when
right.
they go deeper into it, it does become a bit sus, a bit
Oh
real
man,
world too.
so apparently,
But
Adam 22, it seems like he's trying to pivot away from hip hop content. In the process of doing so, he spoke pretty ill about some of his co-workers, some of the ones who stood 10 toes down for him throughout the past couple of years. As he's making the pivot, this got wind back to some of the co-workers. Then they decided that, we're going to stand in unity and leave.
Once this Richard Spencer shit happens, I go on at the end of the day and I say, hey, you know what? I'm a little upset with Adam. You feel me? I don't fuck with that. It's a lot.
hey, would you be upset with that if that was you in that situation and they brought some dude who was racist, Nick Fuentes or whatever? Just how would you feel about that?
Like in what way? Like
Just
hold
the
on,
same
like,
way. Say you were working like at a podcast, something like that, not like at a
Yeah.
regular 9 to 5, right?
and then yeah,
Because then
so,
that'd be really tough. Like, all right, you're gonna work with this dude, 8 hours a day, and everyone's got like swastikas and shit on his shoulders.
so and then he doesn't invite any people of color to speak on some shit too, or just the in general
Well,
of him bringing.
this is, in my opinion, for this one, this is just the staff, which is understandable. I mean, it's understandable, but it doesn't mean, how can I put it? There's this thing that I see online where people go, well, yeah, it's understandable. It's like, okay, but just because something is understandable, right? I understand why you would feel that way. It doesn't mean that you're correct. Or it doesn't
Right,
mean
yeah,
that
yeah,
it's just like, okay, I got where you're coming from. For this,
yeah. Right.
I'm
So,
like, that's understandable, but
and in my opinion,
it's content.
bring,
Wasn't the best
yeah,
content, but
right. In my opinion, for him bringing somebody on like that is kind of weird, because not not like completely, because it is content, and he could do rightly with whatever he wants to do with his podcast, right? He can invite whoever the fuck he wants. It could be racist, non-racist, whatever it is. But I feel in that situation, it would have been cooler. I'm just saying, it would have been cooler if he would have invited somebody with color, just to point facts. Because if it's gonna be something that was, I like to hear somebody with color's opinions when somebody's hella on some swastika shit. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's important. I guess I don't know, but well, I do know. But I'm just saying, for that situation, it's just like I don't. I'm not there, so I don't know or what the fuck. But
no, fuck
I
all
feel
that.
like,
This is just like if you were working there or somewhere
yeah,
similar, and then
I would definitely want to put that fool on the spot. Like, yo, fuck you. You have swastika. Like, fuck you. You have swastikas. What's up?
like, yo,
Like,
what's up with that? What's up with those? What's up with them shoulder
Yes.
tats?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, in other words, yeah, fuck yeah. I feel like that was kind of weird and fucked.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're the one that hired all these different colored staff, so it's just like, dude, like, why don't you, like, why are you just allowing, like, it was just you, and, like, you know what I mean? Obviously you're white, and it's like, it's just uncomfortable. I would have been uncomfortable as a staff there, like, so you have all of us doing shit, but then when this fool comes on, you're just like, nah, it's only gonna be me and him. Like, what kind of that's weird, fool. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like,
That's not
it's kind of fucked.
that's not exactly how it went down, but I just wanted to see like what your thought would be in that situation. Because me, I'd kind of been like, yeah, what you said is correct. Like you want someone who's gonna be able to like push back on that dude. And there was someone there. That's the that's the part where, like I said, like I can understand it, but so what?
Yeah.
Like that's just your feeling because you didn't know this part, but like there was someone there who could challenge the guy's view, who was kind of more familiar with him.
Right.
So that dude was there, but it was more of the this is where I feel what it's just like a lot of people in their feelings because it was like, yeah, but so what? Or it's kind of like I think that they just really wanted like a hey, would it be cool if I had this guy on the podcast? Like, would you guys be cool with that, having him in the building? I think that's what burned most people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they got a dose of reality. It's like, yeah, this is what business is, boys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and see, that's another thing when it comes to business. The sad part is like, yeah, look, you're not allowed here. I'm the one that runs shit, and that's just the reality of it, you know. And it's, I mean, after that, what can you do? And the other trippy part too, what's been tripping me out is like how these foods are like, or the main foods are kind of like in the background, like kind of like, and then the people that have with them, they're like, oh fuck no jumper and fuck this and fuck that. But that way it is like, oh no, and I get it, they're giving homage, they're paying homage to Adam 22 for lifting them to a certain level and helping them to a certain extent. And I guess they're saying thank you, but it's kind of weird to me that in some places in the internet, I see these fools like when it first happened, like, oh fuck Adam and this and that, but then they're like saying thank you, and I get that, but it's like when it's on some like fuck you level, it's like, nah, fuck you, bro, like for everything. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
No,
It's
I
a
get,
weird
yeah.
situation.
A lot of emotions in there. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, let's continue.
A lot of minorities that work in the building. I don't think a person like that, whether you think they're reformed or not, should get platformed, or at least if you.
Yeah, that was the other thing. The guy was claiming that he was reformed. Like, I don't do that anymore.
When it
You
comes
know,
down to that.
I was definitely
Right.
ride or die with this shit back then, but as of now, I'm trying to put my best foot forward, as they say.
For us to have a friendship and us to remain friends, I think that you should stick to Wednesday, do the food show, and do the news, and no longer be a part of Tuesday.
The problem though is that what people are acknowledging is Adam never sat down with any of his.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That's where he told Lush, and Lush leaked it or whatever. That's when he got fired online.
Black coworkers went out and started their own platform, and there seems to be some jealousy there because Adam felt like, oh man, like y'all are doing the same.
How is that? Can you hear that? Or do you want me to make it louder?
However, Adam never
I can hear that.
himself to have their platform on No Jumper, and then seeing more importantly, a lot of like personal information about how much money some people getting paid, bad jokes being told, et cetera, et cetera. The reason why this is interesting is because we had to end peer to peer, and so I think there is a discrepancy between working with somebody as a coworker and also as a friend, right? And so they built a relationship beyond No Jumper. It became a little bit more personal, and so when he was trying to make the pivot, I think Adam struggled with that. And instead of being open and honest and upfront, it came with a bunch of
for sure. Facts. That's facts on that.
So that's the other problems. That Adam brought us colorful characters, one of which
was a. So the dude with the blue hair, he was the one who was there to like push back on him.
Back and forth, and he was debating Destiny instead of Adam pressing him.
But that could also be kind of like maybe it could be considered like part of the like him trying to make the pivot to the next thing.
Yeah. Where he doesn't want any confrontation or putting people on the spot.
But at the same time, like that's a hot button topic, and that's gonna get you the clicks, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of weird too. How that fool did some. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, what do you think about this joke right here? So like this fool right here that has blue hair.
Yeah.
This fool looks like a big time like lefty cuck and all this other shit, right?
Yeah. Turn it up a little bit for this one so I can hear it better. I can hear the other shit, but it wasn't like.
Okay. I don't think. Well, this fool has said like, yo, like I'm like a regular person. Like I'll say some, like I will talk. How can I put it? Like he's a lefty, but he will say certain jokes like in private. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe people like this. It's like just a regular person. He's just kind of like edgy or whatever, right?
Right.
So listen to this shit.
30 things. I thought you were inviting me to
22 as a slave.
Can you hear?
I was invited to your show of yours. I had to look up like 30 things. I thought you were inviting me to fuck you. And
you thought I was black when you
no,
first
well,
got
yeah,
invited.
that too also. Well, because I already said Adam does hip hop, so I didn't know you were just the slave owner and not the.
Hold on. What did he say?
Let's rewind it for you.
I said Adam does hip hop, so I didn't know you were just the slave owner and not the.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay, now if he said that about Hispanics, let's go with that. Would you think that was still cool? Would you still laugh? Because that's the thing that. What if it was making fun of you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Me personally, I mean, I would be like, it always depends on who the person is. Like if it was like, put it this way. When we first got to Arkansas, there was that first dude we rented the house from on Bacchus.
Yeah.
And this dude, the stuff that he told us was regular, but the energy, I think he told you the energy that he came with to do was a complete dick. He had been, I think he was like on his second or third tall boy. So he had been drinking and driving. And he's in there and he's telling us, if you mess up the house and blah, 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 and try to take off, I'm going to track you down with your social and all this other bullshit. And I was kind of like, yeah, dude, like we'll pay the rent. We aren't going to destroy your home. And like, it's not going to be really an issue, dog. Like we're trying to restart here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not trying to just live here and fucking like shit on it for 6 months and fucking try to dip to Missouri or some shit. You know, fucking Oklahoma. Oh, just go to Texas or some shit, right? I know you hear that shit a lot over there. Because that's what people do, right? Right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So it was that type of shit too. He's like, oh, I've rented to other people that are Hispanic or whatever the fuck he said. I think he said because everybody says Mexican. So I'm like, oh yeah. But the thing that he went to was like, after all of that, being very aggressive and me just kind of like, I was kind of taken aback because he just came like boom full force. I guess kind of the way I do now to people. And he was like, at the end he's like, oh, like, do you guys make tamales? Like, I love tamales. Like the people who I rent out give me tamales for Christmas. I was like, nah, man, we don't make tamales. We're not that type. He was like, oh, okay. And then he left. But I think it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, so
the person.
That sounds like my girl's grandparents.
Maybe that was a bad. Maybe I went on a bad example. What's your girl's the example you were gonna give?
Yeah, they're like that. Fucking, are your grandparents left wings? Are they from the left?
Nah, I'm pretty sure they're right wing.
I would say that's the
Right wing, but they still act like, hey, do you have tamales for dinner? Huh?
Well, that's more like stereotype. But okay, but stuff like that. Did you get offended when they said stuff like that?
Because I if I was on the street and they didn't know me, it would be different. But since they know me, I feel like I'll let it play out. But I have stopped them in their tracks before, like where it's gotten a little nutty, where it's like
You've gotten a little better.
But I've stopped them in their tracks before.
Yeah, they've said some.
Because sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, whoa. It's like example, like one day her grandpa was like, hey, what's up, Guatemalan? It's like, nah, hold up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop it there. It's not Guatemalan, bro. It might be Honduran and Mexican, but don't. And that's the thing, is like where you get it twisted, and it's like, but I can feel. This is what I've told my girl before, and it's like, this is the crazy part, because, and this is fact, racism is taught, man, and it's taught by the fucking elites. So I feel like when people say, even if it's funny, a remark like that, there's like 2% of hatred in there. Of like, yes, I want to fucking drown you in what I say, but I'm nice. Kind of like some George Carlin shit, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like that's what it is, because the reason why I say that is because I can act like that sometimes too, and it's out of ignorance, where it's like, oh, but then you know what I mean? Like, it's that 2-3% in me that this country has taught me as growing up in this country. It's natural. It's natural because they teach it like that.
The knee-jerk reaction, yeah.
Yes. Where you can say that you're joking 98%, right? But then, that other percent is like, nah, you're being for real, but you're just scratching it off. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but no, that shit is real. But I've definitely stopped people on their tracks whenever it's been like that, because I can say a whole lot of shit too, but guess what? I just don't say it. I don't do it. But when people are born here, especially with the white skin, they feel that they're entitled to, that they can just be honest with shit like that. And it's like, sometimes you got to bite your tongue and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Because I don't do it. I have all the right. I'm in your land, right? I'm in Arkansas, middle America, fucking dirty South, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy ass playing field, and I've I've noticed it, and I've lived it too. Even from, because obviously, my girl's white. Shouts out to Ashley, but and it's crazy because she agrees with me too. Whenever I put her grandpa on the spot, like, yo, don't play that shit with me, man. Like, and he was just like, oh, I was just joking. Nah, you weren't, bro. Because if you hurt my feelings, bro, you're not joking anymore. I can take a joke, but once you step into that boundary where like my feelings are getting touched, then that means that you went the extra mile. Not the extra mile without knowing. You know what I mean? And I get it, but sometimes it just has to be like, yo, chill out a little bit. I'm not like that with you. Don't be like that with me. And that's this. It's the same concept that sometimes people don't know. Because
Yeah.
I've never joked around with them like that. Like, hey, what's up, bro? Do you have fucking TV dinners for me? Do you have frozen food for me? You know what I mean? Like,
What'd you get at the Walmart for me today?
yeah, what are we gonna eat for dinner? Frozen fucking TV dinners? Hell yeah, I'm fucking stoked. I don't, you know, I don't play around like that because I already know the game, and it's like, why would I do that? You're throwing me under the fucking bus, cool. But it's like you threw me under the bus, so it's like, but it's like when it's you, and I'm serious about it, it's like the whole story changes. But yeah, I mean, shit is real out there, man.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know. I think I would have been like more like, okay. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that joke? But all he's saying is, I thought like I all these like because like the dude with the blue hair is like, I didn't really know who you were. I had to look you up. I thought you rap because he just it's just kind of like noise that you kind of hear from, hey, so and so wants to work with you, or so and so wants
Right,
you on
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So then he's like, oh yeah, and then he just kind of jokes about it, and he's like, yeah, I didn't, I was like, I didn't know you were, fucking the slave owner. I didn't know you were, not one of them. I thought you were, I didn't know you were the slave, which is a,
Right, yeah.
you know what? That's a really edgy. It's a fucked up joke, but that's a really edgy joke. I mean, I could see how people will get really mad at that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, this whole no jumper shit is a trip, man. It's
Well, this thing
it just shows.
not the thing is like it's not really the no jumper issue in my opinion. In my opinion, here we go, gonna get canceled. Because I've been thinking about this. It's and maybe other people have said it, but it's like what aside from it being like emotionally you don't feel good. And like I said, like certain things are understandable, right? But it's like
Yeah.
slavery has existed for a long time on this planet. We've all been, probably all the races or subsections have been slaves to one another in some shape or form, right?
Yeah.
So then it turns into kind of like what makes the slavery that happened for about 300 or 500 years here in America, like what makes that particular slavery across all of the fucked up things that we've seen on the human spectrum, like what makes that one particularly so, I don't want to say special, but what makes that one stand out from everything else? That's the one that like you can never talk about, you can never joke about, you can never do certain things because it's always like inflammatory. People always take it to the ass.
Right.
And because I was kind of thinking about this, and I was like, who else kind of has similar situations in like the Jewish people, but they have the view of look at our entire timeline since we were like in Egypt, we were slaves. Like people have been fucking with us forever, right, since the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's another group that kind of has that. But even their time, it kind of like as a people, kind of we know it, but it isn't like we were slaves in Egypt. You can never bring that, like you can never bring it up type of thing, or not. You can never
Yeah.
bring it up, but like you can, like you have to be careful. I don't know. Maybe I don't know about that. Talking to people about that specific topic who've kind of had descendants, but it's like, would they? Like, do the Jewish people still fuck? Like, do they have beef with? Well, maybe they do have beef with Egypt, right? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Right.
But is it beef because of their slavery from what it says in the Bible, like 2,000, according 2,000 years ago to them?
Right. What do you think about this too, man? What do you think about do you think it's fair? This is just me, like, because this is another thing that when you're in the room, you know what I mean? You're like would you call it the elephant in the room? I don't know, but say like,
Well, that's like the topic that everybody wants to talk about, but nobody wants to talk about.
yeah, like straight up, like, so, both of our parents, right, like came here like wet back as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
and then you're around elder white people that are cool with immigrants hopping the border and doing that, but as soon as they get here, it's like go get some papers as soon as you get here. Like,
What do I think
to me,
about that?
yeah, like to me, it's like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I want to hear you. Fuck it. Like, what do you think about, like, I'm talking about, like, just the
Like,
mentality
does
of
it irk
somebody
me?
being like,
Like, does it
just
irk?
like like what, not like, not even hurt, just like, what do you think about that? Do you think it's bullshit? Do you think it's right for somebody to just be like,
Oh yeah.
as soon as you hop the border, my bad, barter, as soon as you hop the border, fucking go fix your papers, and then you're
Looking
allowed
at
here,
you,
and I'll have
Cubans.
no and I'll have no problem with you. Like, what do you think about that? That's just scratching the surface, but what do you think
No,
about that?
I've thought about this one. I think that it is, of course, it's bullshit. They're putting us through. They're putting us through it, making us go through it. And the reason why I feel that it will not never change, but it isn't going to change anytime soon unless something crazy happens, is because simply we're cheap labor. Like, if you look at some of the stereotypes that like are in society, so for example, blacks are looked upon as lazy, right? That's like one of their stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like blacks are lazy. The whole, obsession, or not obsession, the whole like affinity being really good with money, right? That's like the Jewish thing. Russians being really, really like tough and robotic is like the Russian thing, right? Like in Soviet Russia, like you don't play drums, the drums play you. Shit like that.
Yeah. Right.
And for us, I think that we are seen like socially or by the elite, or whatever, powers that be, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I believe they just see us as like very good resource because we work and we are easily exploitable. So a lot of us, because they come from Central America, they're like fucking dirt stupid. Like they say, se arrastran, right? For nothing. And like immigrants are like very, very willing. That old I forgot what it is, but that old image of like this of like the slaves going, oh massa, they don't call them master, they call them massa. Oh massa, massa this, massa that. Like that is how I believe that we are seen by everybody else. Like not everyone, right? Because it's like, oh well, some of you are kind of raised here, some of you kind of put it together, but like the ones that are coming straight from like fucking Central America, I believe that that's what we are seen as, like just an offshoot of that, just a different version of that. But you guys are not lazy. You guys are like easily exploitable, hardworking, and that's why there will never be a work program, I feel, in this country, because I think we've talked about this before. But for example, I used to work at a store, a factory in Glendale, like in my early 20s.
Yep.
I made like Armenian like dip. It's called shashir and tzatziki and musir. Like 30 some, like maybe like 25. Say there were 30 personnel, maybe like 20 were immigrants. Right? So that's the whole company. We've talked about like the whole company ran off on immigrants. If those 20 people weren't there to be exploited, they wouldn't have the product in the freezers to then load the trucks and go sell it the next day. Simple, like real shit like that. Because that's who put the product in the refrigerators. You load up the carts. You go put this in that fridge. The yogurt gets, the next day yogurt is solid. Well, they're actually fridges, but they're like really hot at first and they kind of cool down or whatever. But yeah, that's my feeling on that.
And that's perfect, and that's fucking dope. And think about it this way. So, when and it's crazy because some of the most racism comes from like low income housing, right? So say like these low income housings fucking are getting built by a bunch of Hispanics, right? It could be Mexican, Salvadorian, fucking Ecuadorian, fucking Honduran, fucking anything. But this is what I'm kind of getting at, is like when somebody says is like, oh well, if you cross the border, just go get your papers so you can be here. But if you're here building somewhere where you're gonna live, and illegal is building it, is like you don't notice that. you know, and it's an illegal building it. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking, you know, it's not the white folks anymore. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, do you know who's building all this shit in America? It's not the ones that built America anymore. You know what I
Dude,
mean? It's fucking
there are like clip. I didn't save any, but there are clips of like construction people working where they are saying like build a house in a day. Like four, I think like 4 or 5 guys. I was when I saw it was like building a house in a day. They're like impossible. It's like an American crew working, and then it
right.
shows like Raza working, and they're like these guys can actually do this shit in a day. They're like this shit is amazing. We never see shit like this. It's like that's exactly why. Like that's exactly why they
Exactly.
allow us to immigrate and they fucking do all the bullshit. Immigrate. That's why they do all the bullshit at the border, because at the end of the day, that's the image, or that's what we're known for. That's what everybody sees us as, right? When it's raining out there, who do you see? You see brown people doing your landscaping in the rain. You don't see. I mean, you do see other races now, but one thing that has made me happy about that here, I'm seeing a lot more trucks and a lot more people doing that job, and it's like people who are with it, with the game. It's like a company, and they own the company, and you can tell because of the way that they're talking and all that other shit. You know, you just kind of peep game, you know.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are running everything. That's cool because it's like cool. Finally, exactly. Instead of we've always been doing this, right? Now we are the ones who are building the companies to do the work. And since
Right.
like they say, get in where you fit in. You know, someone who's Rasa comes along, yeah, bro. Just because you're Rasa, just go. I'll give you the job.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like most people, I feel like that's the fucked up part where most people, especially like that are, you know, white, think that it's that easy to just hop the border and go fix your papers. And this is what I'm saying because, you know, being with a white female, I've heard these things, you know, in conflict, like at fucking Thanksgiving dinners and shit. And it's like, I never get into an argument because it's like, dude, like that's the thing. That's your fucking problem. That if somebody hops the border, you expect them to just fucking get it because you were born here and you just have it. Like, no, it's not that easy. I remember going with our parents fucking over there fucking on Sunset when it turns into like some crazy shit, like heading towards downtown, like going to that little fucking building and shit and getting like even citizenship for you and fuck when we were younger, like hella young, going to this little office with this fat dude and shit. You know what I mean? That shit is not easy. And that's what I'm saying is like, this is what I've heard like white people say before, like that surround me, you know, that, oh yeah, no, go get your papers as quick. And it's like, it's not, dude, you're not in these people's shoes and shit. You know what I mean? How can you say that? Like, cool, I get your concept and shit, but it's like, it's not gonna happen like that. You know, and like talking about like, oh, all these illegals and fucking taking welfare and this. So what? You know what I mean? There's a lot of fucking crackheads out here that do it too. So it's like, what's the problem? That's what I was just getting at with that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Is it's fucked because it's like you don't understand it. You know, it's easy for you to fucking say it, but you don't know the struggle of like crossing a river or crossing a fucking, you know, desert and all that shit. And then, oh yeah, I'm just gonna come here and cross the border. Nah, what I want to do if I cross the border is when I want to kick back and start analyzing what's going on. You know, the last thing in my mind is getting my papers. Like I want to work. You know what I mean? And send some money to my country.
Oh, and
But
on that thing, if there was actually a work program, so many people will be fucking screwed. I mean, companies and people, yeah. But if there was an actual work program, we talked about this before, where for the fucking for the latter half of October, like half of your workforce is gonna dip, most of your workforce, or because like Raza is very religious, they're gonna dip for like fucking December and shit to be with their family. Not November because we don't celebrate Thanksgiving or whatever, but they're gonna go
right.
to honor the dead and then Christmas and New Year's. That's 3 weeks or fucking 4 weeks out of the year where your staff is gonna disappear. What the fuck are they gonna do? They can't go out and all of a sudden hire fucking 15, 25 people for 2 weeks, right? To train them.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna train you for 2 weeks. Then you have to like there it is right there, bro. That's why it's not convenient. The powers that be, the people that run the globe and industry, that's why. I mean, it can happen if the people actually wanted it to, but ignorance, man. Ignorance is one of the biggest factors. But
Yeah.
not wanting to admit that you are ignorant to then gain the knowledge is also an even bigger factor.
Yep.
Like there's this line in the first Avatar movie where like the hero Jake, he goes to meet like the shaman woman, and he's trying to tell her like I want to learn your ways, and she tells him, you know, it's really it's hard to fill a cup that's already full, you know.
Right.
Simple as that. If you know, you know. If you already know it, what am I gonna tell you? All right, back to these videos though. We still have some more to go back to this shit.
Wow.
Listen, I'm here to rep okay.
I like how. Oh Lord, bleep that.
I thought I was like, you know when like sometimes you don't get it? Yeah. I was like in a state of, I don't get it. Are they laughing at the joke? Or was this like an awkward laugh?
Because it did feel kind of awkward.
But then I thought like Adam is too direct of a human to pretend to laugh for another nigga though.
So then that's what everybody's saying. The way that Adam presents himself in a lot of these interviews where he's much more direct. He wasn't direct then. So or if it's an awkward laugh, that's not how Adam presents himself. And then looking at the neo-Nazi interview, there's no direct line of questioning. It's more so I'm just gonna sit back and allow these back and forth between these two individuals without actually addressing this person who said very ill things to people that I work with on a day-to-day basis.
I don't think either of those clips make him racist, bro. Because for him to be racist, he had to think less of black people. I just think he's less informed when it comes to the new stuff he's trying to do. Yes. Like I think he was really informed with the music stuff, so he can challenge people on things because he had a good understanding of music. But
I think this was just a moment where, like they're saying, right? He's trying to do something different. Maybe he's not as informed. But I've seen a lot of hosts do this where at the end of the day, we click on it because it's entertainment. Like you're clicking to see what the fuck they're going to say.
Right.
And that's what he's like. You're just sitting back. And I understand that tactic. You're just sitting back and letting the conversation go. And you're letting these two people go back and forth. Yeah, but if you got nothing to add on to it.
I just didn't want to be informed neither. Like I enough to want to learn about what the fuck the Timberwolves did yesterday.
Because I think in that one, he would have been a bit out of depth. But I think he just wants to be like a regular person having... Let me lower this shit. I think Adam just wants to be like kind of like... I see myself that way. Like I just want to be like a regular dude doing these like podcasts, fucking around, entertaining myself. I do like the little bit of research I have time to do on a subject, but like that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not fucking trying to be Walter Cronkite on this motherfucker. You know? I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know.
Content where he's just not informed at all. Why? I mean, why would you do? Because it comes across as you just trying to make as much money, grab and go as you please.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's what I'm saying. So
and isn't that
I don't see nothing wrong with that part.
On the internet, that's what they do.
But by default, that would make him a culture vulture, and that's a problem that many black people have had with white people for several years.
Okay.
I don't think that would be the case because that conversation happened on that podcast, but that type of conversation has happened on other podcasts where it wasn't really an issue.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the thing I mean. Like this one, it just feels like it was an issue because it was like black people are there. You know what I mean? So it was just like a hey, consider our feelings, which I understand it, but it's like this is your job too.
But if you
like
cutting things out of podcasts, especially when they come off.
For example, like if in my work, like I've had to provide a service to people that I don't necessarily like, and there have been staff who's been like, no, I'm not gonna service that person. Fuck that dude, or that man or that woman. Like, nah, fuck that person. I'm not gonna do anything. But because it's the money, the managers are like, oh yes, we understand, and we would never want to put you in such a situation, and blah blah blah. And they're like, hey, can you do it? I'm like, yeah, sure. What's the situation? And they tell me the person is really rude, or person is XYZ. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, fucking, I don't like it either, but it's like a job. And I actually have had to deal with people who are like saying shit underneath their breath as I'm taking their vitals because they were, you know, on that Raha sis tip. And they're like saying it underneath your breath in front, I mean, kind of in front of your face, but they're like kind of, you know, as you're touching them and shit, they're kind of saying stuff. And I just kind of did it with a smile, like, hey, bro, like, you know, like, you know, this is what the doctor wants. Nobody else wants to attend to you. It's only me. So you gonna let me do it or what? You gonna let me do it or what? Pause. But it's like, you gonna let me do my job or what?
The editors didn't cut it out.
Yeah.
How many other instances could there potentially been of him saying some racist stuff? So like, who knows? It's difficult to indict people on that, but it's definitely a bad look.
You're right. It's really hard to put that jacket.
We're going on 41 minutes also.
He got to wear that jacket. That's what
Hell yeah.
put that jacket on somebody
By
off
the way.
of, potential, just hearsay, comments, laughing. There's another jacket that people are trying to put on him, and that's a Geppetto one.
Here we go. This is the other shit.
Adam was fucking girls that was the same age as me when I was 16. Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
She was 19 when you met her?
The article says it.
I, had been pretty interested in her before I realized that she was underage, right?
I'm Goldie. This is my club. I run
Let the commercial go.
Flattery will get you nowhere. I only get down with people I can trust. When you really care, you go that extra mile for them.
Yeah.
You know we know that. Let's give them some action.
Ponerle ahí el skip the ad, my man.
Man, dude, she was
Eso es
hooking up
todo.
with, but she apparently had the foresight to realize how cool I would inevitably. But she apparently had the foresight to realize how cool I would inevitably end up being. Wink, wink. One night in particular, we ended up talking on the phone, and she went into vivid detail about how she wanted me to go to Canada to see her and have sex with her. I won't even bother telling you the things that she described wanting me to do to her, because by the end of the story, I'll actually have done all of them to her, and worse. The conversation left me hot and bothered, to say the least.
What do you think? What do you think about that part, bro? When he was like, he found out, he found out she was 16 at the time, and then I don't want to say he waited till till she was of age.
But that's what it that's what it sounds like he waited.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so let me hit. I thought I heard something right here. That's fine. Let me hit play. This is a good one right here. This is a good
Any of the
point you made.
out there are probably reading this and thinking something like, she's 19 now, you were 23 then. How old was she then? Well, she was 16. But come on, man, look at her. She's 18 or 19 in most of the pics here, but she didn't look much different at all back then. If statutory is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Bruh.
Now, I could make the argument that the age of consent is 16 in Canada, although I'm sure traveling from America to Canada to have sex with a minor is still illegal as hell. But really, an argument, she was stupid hot and I wanted in.
Now, how the fuck do you justify that?
I don't know.
That part right there is sticky. I don't know about all that. That's kind of that part is sticky. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I really don't know how to feel about that one. Because the girl is 16. Right.
Yep.
So he was probably like 19 when this
Well, it
happened.
said that-
She was
yeah,
16.
Well, I mean, it said that he was 23, right?
Yeah, but that was when she was 19.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So hold on. We have some intruders. Hold. We have some intruders.
Or that when you charger.
Yeah, we're gonna have to invest in one.
It's not charging. Easy, fine.
Okay. All right, so we have some so she was 16, he was about it's what can you do? It's a crime, right? That's all I can say. We don't know what to say. The sexual thoughts thing, I'll just be like, okay, you can feel however you want to feel about it. That's if you, it's like
I'm just saying how he went how he went about it is what's kind of like
that's what people that's what people say is like the grooming. Like you sat there waiting, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait for you to and then when she turns of age, that happens. And this is true. But this is the type of thing of where I'll see the things that it's not just on her and it's not just on him. Because the reality of it is this is fuck. I'm gonna say some shit not popular. It's a 16-year-old girl, right? She can't consent to anything.
Right.
And he's supposed to, as soon as she does any type of contact, once he knows that she's underage, but that's what he did, right? He said, once I knew that she was underage, I think it was saying all this stuff out loud and thinking about it, it just feels like it was like a really like funky, fucked up way it went.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the other thing that they kind of lead to in the video was like basically like, do you believe that he waited until she was 19, or do you think he had relations with a minor? That's really the thing that comes into question. It's like, do you really think he waited till she was 19? Because that's what everybody would say, right? To not incriminate themselves, or
Yeah.
do you think that he did it when she was a minor? Me personally, I think that this is just off of being around men, being a man growing up as men and shit, and seeing like that horny dog nature of men. Like I think he didn't wait. I think he got it at maybe she was 17 or whatever and he was 19, but I don't think he waited. I think that was it.
And he got it in and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just when he retold the story, he just put, "Oh yeah, she was 19," because he says that the mom was in the other room and he was like smashing the girl while his mom was in the other room, and I think he had said that he had smashed the mom in the past or that they know each other, but as outlandish as that sounds, it's like that dude gets up and if he wants to, he like organizes like in the order that a woman is gonna get banged or whatever, or you're gonna blow this guy. Like that's not the world that we live in. You don't know what type of shit he was into, because that's the path that he's in now. He was probably already walking the road to become who he is now.
Right. Yeah. 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 That shit is.
It's like a real tricky one. But like I said, I don't think he waited. I think he probably, because I think that's what most people would do, or most guys. If he's 19, if he just turned 19 and she's 16, if he just turned no, I don't think. That's like saying when we were in high school, right, or junior high, and we saw all those dudes who were older, in their 20s and shit, picking up like the high school girls.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like they were getting it in, right?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
And that's the other thing I was gonna tell you too is like
that's one of my main like areas of experience with this topic. Like that's what we used to see all the time growing up in high school across different races.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's kind of the thing where, because my situation too. It's like what I mean. Like I don't want to speak on that, but I'm just saying like it's kind of on some shit where it's like, it's different. I feel like it's different when you're completely manipulating something and versus like a person that has gone through maybe more growth than other people, you know what I mean, as in like kicking it with olders and your mom didn't fucking guide you the right way and like just let a lot of shit happen. And because you see this shit a lot, like I even seen it when I was fucking 16, that you see fucking females, like you said, they're just up on game on some more shit than you are, and you're like, you ask yourself why, and it's like it's because you know what I mean, there's no guidance and shit, so they get to hang around these people, even family members, that kick them down with game, and their fucking mind is just on some other shit already. You know what I mean?
It's that whole maturing faster than boys, right?
Yeah.
And then the emotions of I know what I'm doing that crosses. Yep. And that's where they're like, oh, I'm mature. These kids, these young little boys in high school still running around playing video games, not like you. You have a car. You can actually go get a hotel room, right? Shit like that. It's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, because we have to see it both sides. You know what I mean? We can't just go and attack. Especially me being in the situation that I was, fucking 12 years ago. You know what I mean? You have to see it from both sides. And that's what sucks sometimes, that society doesn't point the finger at the both sides. You know what I mean? We only want to see one side, but what's up with the other side?
Exactly.
And that's the problem. And I feel like the beautiful thing is to see both sides. Cool, Adam was fucking whatever age, but what about if this other female, no matter if she was 16, she was already ran through, like fucking if she was in her 30s. And that's the crazy part. It's sad to talk about, but that's just the facts. It's the facts about America with a lot of things, like there's so many topics we could talk about that is so fucked.
And we will.
But this, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like this topic right here is like, it very hits home because, I've been through some similar shit where it was just like, yo, it's fucking insane. But then we go to the system, is like, who made these rules? You know what I mean? Because you go to a third world country and motherfuckers are 30 years old getting married with fucking 15 years old. So it's like that's the thing is like, so is it somebody's opinion, or do we have to go back and really dig deep, and who's making these rules that you're allowed to fucking do certain things at a certain age? You know what I mean? I don't.
Well,
It's a
that's
weird fucking situation.
I know what you mean. That's a lot of some of that is used in the red pill for them to,
Right.
for guys to say like, that's why you are older and you get the girl who's a bit younger.
Right.
Not in the way that that is being done, in this story or whatever, or this accusation.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
but in the way of like, you can be 30, you can be 33, you can be 40, and the girl can be 25 or whatever, 30, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a really sticky situation. No victim blaming or anything like that. I don't even think it's like a victim thing. People just looked on his old. It's that thing that people do. Like they just start going through all your old shit to see if you said something or did something that they could fuck you over
Right.
on.
Right.
So that's what
Right.
this is. But I think it was here in California. But yeah, but the whole big thing is that a minor cannot consent, right? All those all
Right.
those girls that freaking got trains run on them and shit in high school. It's like, oh, you fuck. That's one thing that I always heard. Like sometimes I always heard some shit like that of kind of like you guys be careful with what you're doing. Not that I was ever there, but that shit. But I was like right next to it, like damn, like all you food, like all you, like damn, you know. I seen that shit like when the fucking line goes up the fucking building. You're like, god damn, like what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah. Nah. It's
And
bro. I seen it in Hollywood too.
and the chick did it. She did it. I don't know what the fuck she did it for, but she did it.
That's another thing too. Is like, imagine if he said that he smashed the mother. Imagine what kind of mother that is.
I
Not
think he said
saying
that.
because
I'm not sure. That just me. I don't remember if he said that, but yeah, but he was kind of saying that he was like cool enough where he just got in there, was like all charming and shit, and like smashed the daughter like in the next door room, and where the mom is like in one room, daughter's in the other.
right, exactly, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like there's so much to point out that at the end of the day is like, like what can we do? You know what I mean? Because look at all these other high fucking profile motherfuckers that even had an island. You know what I mean? And famous people would go and shit, and it was allowed there. And the manipulation was heavy, and it's like, but in society, if you're nothing, it's like, all right, you did this, so we're gonna fucking suck the fucking life out of you. And that's it. See, that's what I'm saying. This topic can go a lot of fucking ways. And that's what I'm telling you. The reason why I'm so in tuned with this is because, obviously, but only my real people know. But that's what I'm saying is like, that's why I've dug deep. And it's crazy because there's a lot of things to point out. You know what I mean? It can be from who raised you, it can be from what the rules in the system are, it can be from fucking, how I was saying earlier of like, what about if this level of maturity of this person that is 16, 17, whatever, is on some other shit, and you see things, and then hormones and all this shit, like people don't look the same no more, bro, like you know what I mean? And that's the fucked up thing. And and it's like, oh, if they point it out, it's when it matters and shit.
That's the other thing. Like I've had friends who back then they would actually hit on girls, and they would get the girl's number, and then after talking to them for a while, then like later you meet up with them and they tell you, oh hey, remember that chick so and so? Yeah, dude, turns out she was only X, such and such age, and it's like, ooh, dude, like we would like joke about that, like, oh dude, like fucking you one of those dudes. And he's like, fuck that, bro. Like I ain't trying to fucking go to jail and shit. Like lost the
Right,
number
yeah,
and shit.
no. Yeah, and see, and that's the thing is like, and that's the disgusting part about shit like that, because when you do get in tune with certain things like that, you end up getting fucking put in a category with people that are very fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? Like fools actually out there hunting for shit like that. And that's the fucked up part. And that's how the system is just fucked, because I feel like everybody should just, all right, you did this, cool, fuck it. this is what it is. But nah, they put you in a fucking room with a bunch of fools that have done the craziest, the most, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on, dog? Like, whoa, I'm pretty fucking like good up here, but why am I stuck with like fucking 60-year-old fools that are doing some grimy ass shit? Just for their own will, for their own gratitude. That shit is it's insane, man. It's a fucked up fucking. But then you have this fool, what is it, Einstein or
Epstein.
Epstein, fucking doing some crazy shit over there, and all of a sudden they fucking they did him like they did Osama bin Laden, supposedly. Like hell no, this was probably still living in another fucking island somewhere in fucking Jupiter, still kicking it. You know what I mean? Like,
Could be.
this is the crazy shit, and it's so fucked. It's so fucked because we're all stuck in this realm, and what can we do? Because the fucking elites are still pulling strings. It's a trippy, it's amazing conversation, but it's trippy too at the same time.
Yes, content. Hopefully you at home are tripping out if you made it this far. We can just finish up this video and then we just call it a day then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Unless you have unless you have another
it's a good-
topic.
for sure, it's a good video though. This is what these fools are saying. I like what they're saying. They're just like talking their whatever they feel.
Yeah.
No, I sincerely don't know.
I don't think you do, man.
I don't know. So for those who don't know, that's a blog post from Adam22 himself, not somebody else. He himself put that blog post out
Back when blog posts were a thing.
Yeah,
man.
back in the day. To be
Oh, wait,
this
or some
is an
shit.
older post. And so recently, however, he got called out on it by someone else who came to do an interview. Called him out, said, "Yo, man, this is what I do for a living. I address Geppettos, and you done said some flagrant stuff back in the day. We trying to figure out what's time is it."
Yeah, that's the low key. That's the new slang.
Adam felt like you're trying to expose me with something that you don't know
It's
the facts
crazy.
on.
The one where you was messing with the 16-year-old girl?
What do you think happened? The article says
I'm going
I
on-
was 19 when I met her.
She was 19 when you met her?
Yeah, the article says it.
So, but what did you say?
But then
I
said
said
she's
that I
16.
spoke to her on the phone when she was 16 before I realized that she was.
All right,
she
well,
was
that's
underage.
catch a lot that's how we
She
catch
was
him.
Canadian. She didn't even know that she was doing something fucked up.
It don't even matter, but that's how we
That's
catch
cool that
him.
you felt like you were gonna come on.
Right
Is
there.
this an interview?
This is when he fired Lush. This dude was sitting next to Lush.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and this happened. I don't know why this dude was there, but so like what he's saying right here, if this is true, right, where he's saying I, met someone online, found out she was
Yeah.
16, stopped contact, but okay, so if you're saying he stopped contact, it means he didn't, he wasn't grooming is basically the thing, right? The assertion. If he
Right,
if he
yeah,
stopped
yeah.
contact, he wasn't grooming, and then he met her when she was dicey.
On my
Oh
platform to
yeah.
expose me though. Like, why
No,
would you let this happen?
it was just in the midst of the conversation. It was in the midst of, he didn't, it's not on him on nothing. It was in the midst of the conversation.
But you came on my platform and spread lies like that?
Lies?
Lies?
Is it lies?
I mean, you could have done some research and figured out any.
Did you
But
talk
here
to her
he
when you
put-
were 16?
19. For like 5 minutes when I was 21. I'm 39.
You wasn't 23?
I might have been 21, 22.
How you don't know? How you don't know if you was
Because it was
21?
20 years ago.
It still happened though, but we can't take that jacket off.
So we really weren't able to get to the bottom of it.
That part was a bit dumb, I think.
And they've been digging things up.
Yeah.
And this is a sliver of what has occurred, but without a doubt, this is weird behavior at bare minimum.
Yeah, so Adam is saying that he didn't do anything with her until she was 19, but based on the fucking blog post that he posted himself, it sure sounds like he did because he admitted to it in the blog post.
And that's
unless he was
that's
lying.
crazy. That's
But
why he
then
should have never
after
just
all the years,
should have just left it
came out
alone.
with some allegations
Honestly.
that he did
I don't know.
to her against her consent. So then he
Just like I
released
told you with that
emails
person
of
fucking
her
threatening me on
basically
Instagram.
saying, like, no,
Yeah.
Left it alone.
incident, like everything was
You know?
completely
Oh, yeah,
fine
yeah.
and consensual. Look,
Or you
otherwise
can
you
put
would
your
have flagged
sucker
him
in
in
it
his
if
email.
you're done
It's
with
a
your
very
sucker.
messy
Yeah, just leave
situation.
that
and
shit
I'm not gonna
alone.
lie, on top
And
of all
that's
the other
see, and
things,
that's where this
is
happens
probably the
because
worst look.
By far. By far.
Look,
and what's even
this is how I
crazier
see it. If
allegations of
this shit would have been completely fucking true, look, guess what, bro? At the end of the day, me and you both know, bro. The universe works in
photos
fucking
of her,
a crazy ass way, bro.
potentially-
And if whatever happened would have came out, it would have came out. And that's what I'm saying. He should have just shut the fuck up. Because eventually, if it was true, it would have came out because it will come out. the truth always comes out, no matter if you speak your fucking ass out or what you do. You know what I mean? And it's just what it is. He should have never even done nothing because look, now you have fools attacking him, no matter if it's true or false. But now, since he opened his fucking mouth too much and try to fucking speak, 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 speak his truth, you know what I mean? Now he has to explain everything. So it's like that kind of situation. Since to me, it's like more on some personal shit. He should have just left it alone, and then the truth will come out eventually. But he decided to fucking, since he has this platform and he's letting his balls hang. Guess what, bro? You created this whole fucking thing. Now people are talking about it. You created it yourself. You should have just stayed quiet. And if the truth would have came out, the truth would have came out. Simple. And that's crazy because now people are attacking that more than what really needed to be attacked, which was like him firing all these people for no fucking reason, for his own gratitude, honestly, and for newer adventures or whatever. But that's what happens.
Newer adventures. That's good. I like that. That's good. That's good. Newer. That's exactly what it is. Newer adventures. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he should have done like a whole fucking thing. Because honestly, I feel like he did it out of I need to defend myself. I need to defend myself. And it's like, bro, when you defend yourself in a stupid ass way, if you're wrong or right, you're gonna say stupid shit. So he should have just stayed quiet. Yo, fuck it. If people want to think whatever they want to think, let them think. And if the truth comes out, fuck it. I'll go to jail, whatever. If this bitch, what, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what I'm saying. Now people are attacking that versus what really sparked it, which was fucking the house phone thing, and then AD and all the other fucking staff, T-Rail and all them Duno and all them fools. So it's just like, it's just, that's just what it seems like Adam is, man. It's like, just shut the fuck up, white boy. You know what I mean? Like, shut up, bro. But, but you know what I mean? I mean, now you get fools calling you out on a whole different topic because it started from that, right? It started from like the whole Lush and people getting kicked out and like beyond. But now it's like on some other shit. And it's like, well, sorry, buddy, you created that shit.
You want to be all up in the Kool-Aid? Let's go dig into your shit.
Exactly, bro. Like, and fuck it. I mean, and let's keep hearing some shit.
It's almost done.
Weird it is. You talked to her when you were 16, but somehow you waited when she was 19 to then go back to interact with her. And then the story that was told is that you went to her house, to her mom's place, had sex with her while her mom was there. And again, you waited till she was of age. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Adam. I don't know if you want a cookie from us that you waited till she was of age. I don't know what to tell you there. But my boy, that's weird as fuck, nigga. That's weird. That is weird. That's the equivalent of you dating a high schooler and waiting until she graduates high school to be like, oh, well, she's finally legal now. Because
Let's pause it right there. Let's keep it real. That's going on a lot in every high school right now. But I just wanted to say that for everybody who's out there. If you got a daughter,
real quick, let me say some shit. This right there, what that fool said. Well, I'm gonna wait till after she graduates. Well, guess what, my boy? I don't know what. See, and that's the problem with these fucking podcasters sometimes, bro. That they don't see both sides. They just attack that one part. Oh, but what about this? Bro, do you know how much shit goes on and people wait and people don't wait? Like I'm saying, like in third world countries, bro, motherfuckers go up to fucking a 16, 15-year-old fucking their daughter. They go to their parents and they're like, hey, look, I'm fucking 45. I'm hitting 45. But I think your daughter's gorgeous and I can fucking, I can provide anything that she wants. Let me marry her. Yeah, sure, marry her. So you know what I mean? That sucks because motherfuckers, bro, like that's what I'm saying, bro. We're gonna make Hollywood's ghetto on some mother.
That's that you're talking that old world
that people don't even talk about, bro. We're gonna bring some other shit to this shit.
People talk about it, but they don't like to bring that shit up because it's very uncomfortable that these things happen in the real world. And here in America, you can pretend that here in America nothing happens. You just fucking
thank you.
Eat people offline,
applause, bro. Throw that fucking applause pot on there.
on. You have to say that again because I had the applause and the air horn was going off. So you have to say that shit again.
But yes, these motherfuckers try to act new, bro. These fools are fucking, bro. Hollywood's Ghetto Podcast is gonna fucking do beautiful because we're talking real shit, man. Like these fools are asleep. Why aren't people talking about that? Why aren't people are fucking straight to talk shit, but it's like, dude, do you know other shit that's going on and it's acceptable somewhere else? Like, are you just stuck in a fucking box? Like, we gotta talk about. If we're gonna talk about a topic, let's talk about it like whole round.
But
All
so what would be your point of your kind of like your point of view in that? So okay, so let's ask you the hard question, right? Because you have a daughter.
for sure.
So if let's say you were living in yes, dad is Mexican. If you were living in Mexico, and when she was 16, some like you said, like the same thing you said, some 40 year old dude is gonna come to you and be like, "Hey, su hija está bien bonita, you know, fucking quiero ser su esposo," you know.
Bro, this is the harsh truth. And I even heard I don't know if it's our uncle anymore, but or just our friend now, Julian.
Uh-huh.
I heard him say this shit one time, bro, and he was like, he has two daughters, right?
Yeah.
Which can be our siblings and you know, cousins, whatever. And he straight up said, "Yo, esas niñas ya no son para mí, no son para mí." Así que,
What?
you know what I mean? Si no son para mí, así que, hey, cuando ya tengan 18 o 16, lo que ellas quieran, ya no es para mí. So it's like, that's what it is, bro. It's like, yo, if
That is some liberal. That's crazy
yo,
because the result is not what like some people would want, but those same people would be happy with the reason for that for him doing that, which is like, oh yeah, they're
that's what
old
I'm
now. The liberation part,
that,
right? They're women
that's what I'm saying. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not about control. It's about like, yo,
making
okay,
choices, good informed.
yeah.
Start.
It's like, hey, daughter.
You're thinking more along the lines of like arrange like in India they do arranged marriages. You're thinking more along that line,
I'm thinking more
or just like
of,
Hulan said, like, hey, it's your life now. It's your problem now.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, in America, it's like, oh, 18. Now you're 20. Now you got to be 21 to buy cigarettes, and it's like, well, so who's putting the rules? It's like, why can't it be chaotic sometimes? Whenever you're just like, hey, all right, fuck it. You think you're fucking here, up there, like perfectly, and that's the thing is like, because I've seen situations too where say a 30-year-old fool is fucking 40 now, and he got married with a 15-year-old, and the 15-year-old is like fucking in her mid 20s or early 20s, and she leaves. And that's the thing is like, well, if she leaves because you're fucking older now, it's like, well, what can you do then? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same concept. It's like, okay, cool, you took my daughter when she was 15 and shit, but she feels like she's ready to live that life as a married wife. Cool, bro. Like, I feel like if you sit down with a person, and that's see, that's where this goes heavy, bro, because I feel, and I've been making like study of this shit myself. Like, if you can sit with somebody that is 15, 16, and they have like mentally recognized what it is, and they can tell you like, no, this is what I want, like, well, then fuck. Like, I'm saying, like, being in a third world country, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about like
Where the
how
laws
people
are different.
yes,
Because here the
exactly,
law is you cannot, even if you are like that, you cannot give consent until you are 18.
exactly. I'm just saying somewhere else, and mind you, people might not know this, but people from females from third world country have lived a lot more harsh life where they have to fucking get it together from a snap of a finger than in America. Because in America, everything gets fed to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, no, I could barely do anything. And a lot of parents lack that because America allows it. Oh, guess what? We have this, we have that. Don't worry. Give a fucking pill here, give a prescription pill to your kid because this is what they're lacking in. Versus over there, they don't have that. So it's like, if the person is in the right mind and your daughter wants to go with this fucking 30, what, guess what? So be it. But later on, if she feels tired of this fool, well, she's gonna leave him, and it just happens. That's just fucking life. But now here where you have restrictions and shit, of course, there's a whole different level. But I'm just saying, to answer your question, if we were in a third world country and that happened, it's like, all right, daughter, well, if you're ready to take that step, are you ready? And obviously, you know how fuck you gotta fucking sit down and be like, yo, look, whatever, whatever. I have to talk to the fool too, whatever, whatever. I ain't gonna be on some fucking on some fucking bad boy shit, you know, with fucking Will Smith and what's his name?
Martin.
But you know,
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't think you were gonna say that. That's wild.
but you know, that's what it is.
All right, let's finish this video.
We now know that you already had sexual desires for her when she was 16. You saw her at 16. You thought that she looked great at 16. Allegedly had pictures of her when she was a minor as well, but waited until she was of
Little does
age
she
to
know
do
I'm talking to
something.
Alan.
Yeah, legally, I guess. Yeah, legally, you're in good grounds. But for the rest of the world, we kind of view that a little strange. I'm keeping it being with you, bro. That's odd. That's odd to say the least, especially when you were outlining the things that you wanted to do with her and you were willing to take even let's just say it was a joke. Let's say you were jokingly being an edgelord back in the day on blog posts. Like, let's just say that's what you're doing. Let's just say that's what it was. However, you then fulfilled that fantasy when she was of age and went to her house
Right.
while her mom was in the next room. Like, come on, bro, that's weird.
Nah, I like if like
That's weird.
if you're having a consensual relationship with someone at the end of the day, I try not to make that none of my business. You feel me? But isn't it insane how people feel open to say what they want when they feel like they don't have that much to lose, or when they feel like there's no consequences for it, like regardless of how it is morally.
Yeah.
Bro, this is some of the wildest shit I've read in a while. It's because nobody would post some shit like this now.
No, not
nobody
now.
would post them, but like
Even if they
12 years
did,
ago.
they definitely not putting their name to it. This nigga Adam had the iconic Adam 22 logo and everything attached to this, right? It's like, and then also openly admitted that was him as well.
So then the situation got messier than that, because then she came out saying some of it wasn't consensual, and then he was trying to prove it was by showing some emails. And
I don't know, Adam.
This is the worst look in my opinion.
This is by far the worst look.
And that, boys and girls, is why you keep it in your pants, to avoid shit like that, so you don't ruin your life.
Yep.
Everything else, you dealing with business and friends, that can get messy, awkward, understandable. You potentially having an awkward laugh around some other people and not being properly prepared to interview someone who is a known neo-Nazi, not as understandable, but I'm not gonna act like I went into every interview that I'd have done as like knowing everything that I know. I'm not.
That's pretty much it. They kind of keep going, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
Right.
Hold on, some people want to be annoying.
Fucking temperature dropped up. Fucking crazy.
Hold on, I paused this because people want to be all up in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Yeah, it's 10:22. Close the door, please. Fuck, now what were we saying? Right, so that's pretty much it. That's the show. Thank you for watching. We had a little reaction to this stuff. We talked about this on Friday, but like I said, we had some technical issues. And I think this actually came out better than what we talked about on Friday.
Yeah, it cut to the point. It cut to the point.
I think it's a bit better. All right, so Hollywood's Ghetto, episode 21, reaction to the No Jumper situation. Like, comment, subscribe if you want a console or a cash prize. if the time comes and nobody likes, comments, or subscribes, I'm just gonna spend $500 on whatever I want. And fuck y'all. Shit. And then I'm gonna do a video of like, yo, I did this. You guys didn't do anything, so this is what I spent the money on. That's what the video is gonna be about. Like, so one of those is coming. If you guys don't like, comment, subscribe. Anything for you?
No, this was beautiful. Another fucking, some real shit. And it's gonna get even realer.
Till next time, we out. Air horns. We out.
Everything I do is from the ground up. These motherfuckers round up. Genetically faker than the fruit and veggies at your local Walmart. I take no shortcuts, fuck a handout. No wonder why these motherfuckers only fly when they fly with the wind and their hand out. Get the fuck out of here